Greetings and salutations, everybody. This is Because Why Not with Chris and Kevin. I am Chris most days.
And I'm Kevin, also most days. I go by many other names, but Kevin is the one that was chosen for me.
Funny enough, my original name was supposed to be Alexander.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what my mom was gonna name me if she named me. But actually, my aunt named me instead. So
that's a fun fact.
Christopherson.
Like Alexander the Great.
Or Alexander Hamilton. But he had slaves.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
He didn't so much have slaves, but he benefited from slavery, which a lot of people did back then. But I have actually some more on that based on the significance of what today is.
I was gonna say, I think anybody involved in slavery benefited from it. Yeah. It was free labor. I mean,
in essence, yes.
How are you gonna? Oh, one side benefits, the other side does not benefit.
I see. So what's up, brother? How are you besides hot?
I'm very hot. Both temperature wise and looks, obviously.
I mean, no one can rock a bald head like you do, sexy pants.
Thanks. I get compared to The Rock a lot. He seems a little smaller to me, but what are you gonna do?
I mean, what you gonna do?
Right. Not bad. Like you said, I was tired. I'm tired. I got my my Tdap yesterday because for babies, and dude, I am wrecked from it. Like I just thought like, okay, it's just another vaccine, whatever. And then you're like, your arm's gonna be sore. My arm's way more sore than it was with any of the COVID vaccines I got, and my sleep was just awful last night, and just all day I've just been in like this fog and just like I don't like it. So no more vaccines for me.
Stop it. Well, didn't you stop getting the flu vaccine for that reason? You didn't get it for a couple years in a row, right? Because that time you got crazy sick. I remember that. That's when we were on the ambulance.
Yeah, and I ended up like going to the hospital, and it was. Yeah.
Do you still not get your the flu shot? Or have you changed your mind?
I get it now.
Yeah.
But
I mean, totally understandable. You get it once, you get hella sick. It's gonna be like, you know what, fuck you, flu shot.
Yeah, I don't know what my body just likes to put up the resistance, which is fine.
Like, resistance.
It's just something I didn't really play. I don't know. I guess I didn't really think about this one as something that might affect me. And it wasn't until like the middle of the night when I was just like, I kept waking up like, dude, something's wrong. And then like I looked up like, are there side effects of this? And like oh yeah,
every single one.
Yeah, I was like, that's exactly how I'm feeling. All right. Luckily I didn't have like the diarrhea and stuff, so that's good.
Yet.
Yeah, right.
That's crazy. What made you get your tetanus shot anyway?
They recommend it for the dad because Danielle had to get it too.
Interesting.
It's like I don't know why. I was just told. I got to go to my first doctor's appointment yesterday. And nice. I got poked, so that's cool. Yeah.
Stab.
Right? Like, hey, you're here. Let me stick something in you. All right.
I mean, not in the fun way either.
Yeah, it wasn't the fun way. No, not at all. But yeah, so that was, it is what it is. I'm just hopefully gonna take a nap today, and maybe we'll take it all the way. Watch some golf and crash out.
Oh yeah, the U.S. Open started, didn't it?
Yep, they are third round today, so quite exciting stuff going on. Ooh.
So how's Miss Danielle anyway? How's she's I mean, sure, she's ready to pop out that child, isn't she?
Well, yes and no. Yes and no. She's definitely getting more and more uncomfortable as the days pass, and sleep is getting more and more difficult. You got huge weight just right in the front. So
does she have one of those like special U pillows?
Yeah, and
We talked about that, didn't we?
we did, and they're amazing. And I can't steal it yet because that'd be the dick move.
I mean, you could steal it, but yeah, totes a
But
dick move.
when she's ready to sleep on her stomach and back again, I'm definitely gonna try it out because I still use it like when she's facing the other way. I'll roll up and I'll kind of get a little bit of use out of it. But the problem is she wakes up so frequently now that if I'm touching like leaning against it, like she just moves all over the place and it just disturbs my sleep anyways. So, but I enjoy it while I can. But
that reminds me, the other day, like Gloria got me those those dipped pillows that go between your thighs when you sleep to keep your legs straight.
yeah, how do you like it?
It's okay. I toss and turn too much. Like I'm not used to staying in one spot yet sleeping.
Right.
So it's just like I've always been a toss and turner,
Mm-hmm.
especially now since I sleep at such not infrequent, but unscheduled times just based on my schedule. It's scheduled, but it's not consistent, I should say. Non-consistent
Right.
sleep schedule. That's the words I'm trying to use because words are hard.
Words are difficult. Yeah, those things. We have one too, and I've tried it every once in a while, but I think you just have to keep using it, and then you finally, you have to get used to it.
Yeah, I mean, but like I realized one of the things that was more difficult for me prior, like I was putting on a lot of weight, so I was not finding a comfortable position to sleep in because my body weight was causing me to bend in a little bit. So my shoulders would, like I would wake up and my shoulders would hurt. 12 years in the ambulance, your shoulders hurt anyway.
Yeah.
So so I started in the habit of like hugging a pillow.
Okay.
Because I'm also not an extended cuddler. So it's like I'll cuddle and I'll hold, but Gloria's like a furnace.
Yeah, it makes a difference.
Yeah, so it's just like, baby, you hot. So
like, I'd really love to cuddle, but
yeah.
we can't do this right now.
No, and then my arm starts to go numb from bending over. So it's like the whole Friends thing: hug and slide. Hug for her, slide for me. But like the other day, because we both kind of sleep with a pillow now to keep our shoulders straight or whatever, so we can get a more comfortable position. So like we were facing each other, like with pillows in between us. It's always kind of funny when that happens. But so like I stole her pillow on accident because she happened to let it go. And she was dead asleep too, but I was kind of like in that not really sleep, but like light sleep. And so she snatched it back so hard, like in her sleep. She was it was mid snore. It was snore, snatch, snore. And I could wake up. And I could only laugh because I was like, what?
Yeah,
that's amazing.
I haven't. Yeah, there's no other way to react to that. That's funny.
One time she I think it's mostly because like I only I don't sleep at home 6 days of the week, like we don't sleep in the same bed at the same time. I mean, I sleep at home every day just because there's no place better than my house. It's too peoply outside.
Yeah.
Especially now since California's opened, and I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah, it's weird, right?
Ugh. But I mean, people are still wearing masks, so
yeah.
And I'll probably still wear a mask but we'll talk about that in a second. But so what the fuck was I talking about?
Gloria jacked her pillow back that you stole.
Oh, it's gone.
See ya. that was fun while it lasted. So yeah, California is reopened. It was like
California has reopened.
The 15th, right? Officially, everything.
That's when it officially reopened. But I mean, it never bothered me to wear a mask. I've said that repeatedly here, and I say that out loud. It's just never bothered me to wear a mask, especially not around people. Around people, nah, people suck. So I don't trust people. So I mean,
now you have the reason. You have a better excuse to wear a mask.
Yeah.
Regardless of COVID, now it's just like people smell and are dirty, so I can just wear a face mask.
And it guards my face when people say something stupid,
Right?
Because I'm 100% not responsible for what my face does when you say something stupid.
No, not at all. Yeah, I think most people here are wearing masks.
Still?
Yeah. Still.
You're closer to the Phoenix area, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, there's everywhere you go, there's people in stores that don't have them, but I'd say probably 90% of people are still wearing masks. So,
I mean, it's just, I think it's become so ingrained in such a part of our lives. Like, unless you weren't wearing it from the very beginning, it really, like, what's, like, how long are you in the store? You
yeah,
know?
exactly. It's not, it's whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
Like I
so,
said, I don't mind it.
yeah.
It's not like I'm suffocating. It's not like it's hot inside the stores. They got the AC on, so it's
I
like,
mean, it's necessary where you live to have AC. Apparently,
yeah,
it was like in Sacramento. My sister was telling me it was like 110 some odd degrees the other day,
it's hot.
and it's a
Yeah, that's
different,
what
like, it's a very dry heat, which you should know all about.
I do. And
It's
every
like,
day I go outside, I'm thinking like, dude, I used to walk miles in this every day. Like,
uh-huh.
this is so stupid. This week has been brutal. Like,
Yeah.
I think today it's supposed to get to 117 again. Um,
California's
and
in a drought now too, so
California's been in a drought
for the
though.
last 3 years,
It's
yeah,
just getting worse.
yeah, it just got
Arizona
worse.
is too. I didn't know. I mean, I guess it makes sense that Arizona's in a drought, but yeah, I didn't think it was as big of a deal. But some people think it's a big deal here.
It still boggles the mind,
Bottles,
boggles the mind,
mind bottling.
mind boggling. It boggles the mind that it snows in parts of Arizona.
Yeah,
Like, it's like mind blown.
I know. You don't really think about it until then you
Mm.
realize like Phoenix, like it's the valley, and so surrounding. If you look all around, you just see mountains all around.
See, in
So
my head, Arizona's hella flat, but that's actually not the case.
no, it's not.
Mm. See, I just need to come visit.
Yeah, it's there's some really beautiful scenery out here, but
Yeah, you're there, so
right.
of course it's beautiful scenery.
Well, thanks. Right now, it's just super hot and
Yeah,
really
so
disgusting. And it's funny because like like we follow some of like the local news stations on like Instagram and whatnot,
mhm.
and so they'll be posting like the daily high or the like we broke this record,
Yeah, you sent me the
and
one when
like
it was 115 the other day. I'm just like,
yeah, and
oh.
like you go through it like I I try not to read comments because most of them like are always like, oh, if you don't like this heat, go back to California, like all this stuff. But
So
like
you're
people are
saying
gonna,
you like it when it's 115
well, that's
degrees
what I'm
out?
saying. Like people try and pretend like, oh, I've lived here my whole life, so I'm used to it. I love it. You can be used to it, but you don't have to like it.
Yeah.
Like you can say like, yeah, it sucks 3 months out of the year. Like it sucks. It's way too hot, but the rest of the year, amazing, best weather. Like you can say that and not
Yeah.
just sound like an idiot. Like you sound way way more dumb if you're like, yeah, I love when it's 120 out. I'm used to it. I just stay inside in the air conditioning.
No.
Like, no, of course you do. But some people like to enjoy the outdoors.
Yeah. Your brain
So
well, I mean, if they've been there the whole life. I was reading something the other day where your brain starts to cook at 108 degrees. So, I mean,
that now that explains all the comments then.
yeah, it's like,
But yeah, no, it's hot. Stay inside. And like that's like I said, on the weekends when we walk Pancake, it's like get up in the morning and take her out. And this morning I was trying to sleep in. It was like 6:45, and like I was like, we got stuff to do. And Danielle was like, you know what temperature it is already? I was like, I don't know, 70s, 80s, 90.
at
So
7:30 in the morning, it was 90 degrees.
at 7, yeah, it was like, oh, we better get going.
It's like, I know we talk about the weather a lot, folks, especially during the hot times, but it sucks.
It
We
does.
just want to relay the fact that it sucks. So we'll
Yeah,
move on.
yeah. Moving on.
So what else has been going on with you, brother?
Ah, that's really it, man. Just
Yeah.
getting ready for a baby.
Has Danielle
That's
started nesting yet?
no, no. I think. Well, yeah, no, not really. We're kind of like at the. What's going on? We're trying like not to really think about it too much because it's just it's coming, and we don't know when.
That's what she
But
said.
but yeah, it's like it was it was cool going to the doctors yesterday and actually meeting the doctor and
So what did something change in Arizona where you're allowed to go, or is it just
yeah.
oh, okay.
No, yeah, no, it was like as of I think I forget when. It might have been May, the beginning of May. I was able to start going, but they were just regular checkups. And so this one is like now that we're at the 36-week point, just more of like what signs to look for, when to go to the hospital, when to call, that kind of stuff. So kind of
So they
just
kind of
things
want
that.
both of you there.
Yeah, and then so she goes every week now, so I won't go to the next appointment. But the following, at 38 weeks, they're going to do another ultrasound, so I'm going to go to that one finally and actually see the ultrasound in person.
Would you ever do one of those 4D ultrasounds, or if they had done, if it was an option earlier?
No, they're terrifying looking.
Oh no, they are absolutely horrendous. Like we did one for Elliot, and I'm like, ugh, this is scary. It's cool and scary at the same time.
That was crazy. Like, this is one of my coworkers. His wife is like, I think she's 6 weeks behind us.
Mm-hmm.
And so they got the 4Ds, and he's like, "Yeah, look, you could totally see, like, you can see everything that he looks like." I'm like, he looks creepy. Yeah. Like, I don't like. I don't want
a ghost.
Yeah, exactly. Like they're terrifying. Like it's not like I'll see him on the next one, and then I'll see him in person. And even then, he's still going to be just this creature from inside.
Your inside went to her inside, and you guys made a baby inside. That was gross.
Yeah, that's.
I may cut that out.
Health science with Chris.
Yeah.
And that's how babies are made, kids.
That's how babies are made.
His
inside goes into her inside, and they make something else inside of her.
Ooh. Oh. But how's work been for you? Things.
Well,
different.
Because it's like my birthday's on whatever. I don't know when you'll listen to this, but it's in 2 days from now. 3 days from now. 3 days from now, because math, math is also hard.
This has been arithmetic with Chris.
Arithmetic with Chris. I got my additionals and my subtractions. I can do that real good. But yeah, so like my last shift was like the longest shift, and both me and the clerk are both like going on vacation at the same time. Her shift was over. Her last shift was that shift, and I still had that shift plus one more shift, like because I work Tuesday, which is my actual birthday. Well, Wednesday morning is my actual birthday, so Tuesday I work and then goes into my birthday. This is the first time I've actually been physically in my job on my birthday in like 10 years.
It's sad.
But it's like I'm going on vacation like after that. Like I'm off for my whole next rotation of work, and then I'm off for 4 more days after that. So I'm off for, let's see, 10 days altogether.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Only had to work 1 weekend this month. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong.
I'm still sad that I had to cancel camping because I never told you that, did I?
No.
Yeah, so right before I went to Seattle, I also reserved my reservations for camping, which I do try and do every year. But like I did it on a Friday. And then I woke up to an email on Saturday morning saying that my reservations have been canceled. I'm like, oh, why? Then I investigated, and it got canceled because I guess the whole area had got overgrown.
Oh.
So from mid-April to June 28th or something like that, they were doing, they were doing abatement. So they were they closed down all the sites and like all of them up there, because there's like 4 up there that are that you can go to, and they were all closed. So it's like I was scrambling to try and find another spot, and I was just like, I'll just wait. So once again, no camping this year, but I'm renting a movie theater, which is kind of cool.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah.
So do you get to play whatever you want?
You get to choose from whatever they have playing, but they don't just have new stuff. They had some old stuff too, which was kind of cool.
Okay.
So I chose A Quiet Place 2.
Never heard of it.
Why you shake your head like that?
I never heard of it.
What about? Did you ever watch A Quiet Place?
No.
Yeah.
So 2 is the sequel, I'm assuming.
2 is the sequel. Quiet Place is about, with as little spoilers as possible, Quiet Place is John Krasinski's like directorial debut. It's him and his wife. They live in a world that was taken over by creatures that hunt by sound.
Oh,
yeah,
like Tremors.
Yeah, like Tremors, but instead of being in the ground, they travel on top.
Oh, fun.
They're So like it's really quiet like throughout the whole movie, and it's kind of cool that way.
Well, it'll be fun.
Yeah, should be fun. It's like it'll be the first. I tried to remember the last movie I saw in movie theaters. I think it was Sonic.
Sonic?
Yeah.
When did that even come out?
I don't even remember.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, I've never been big on going to the movies, so it's definitely been a long time since I've been to see a movie in person. I watched that movie Luca on Disney Plus that started streaming yesterday.
Was it in Premiere Access or is it just streaming?
It was just streaming.
Oh, I mean, watch that then.
Yeah, it's a good little movie. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it came out in February last year, so I'm pretty sure that was the last movie I saw in theaters. That's crazy.
Last year, so that would have been like right before everything really shut down.
Because it came out February 14th, and I think I saw it like close to that time. That's crazy. So, question.
So, yes, answer is probably maybe.
Do you know what today is? What day is it today?
Is Juneteenth.
Yes, it is. Call it. Do you know the significance of Juneteenth?
This is when I know it was like slaves were set free. I know it had something in like Texas, right? That's when they got like all the news.
Yeah. All right. So I'll get it. I'll tell you the story.
Let's go.
But I'll preface it by saying I was woefully embarrassed by how much of this I did not know. And like I was a history major like when I first started college, so it's like it made me even more embarrassed. And I'm a black dude, so it's
I hadn't even heard about it until like a couple of years ago, and like even then, like it was just kind of like basically what I said is all I heard about it.
That's all I know. So before I talk about like actual like the day Juneteenth and the significance, just like I want to talk about a little bit in a very condensed manner of why Juneteenth came about. So talking about slavery and things like that. So scholars kind of put to the time and date that slavery started in the United States around, I want to say 1609. Yeah, 1619, when the first ship that had African slaves arrived on the shores of what was then the British colony in Jamestown, Virginia. So 20 slaves were brought off the ship and dispersed as they see fit. 20 about
that was like their trial run.
Yeah,
like
I don't. But I was reading in they were slaves that they captured from a Portuguese slave ship.
Oh,
so it's like, oh, you have slaves? I'm gonna just go ahead and take your slaves. Those are mine now. I'm the captain now.
Right? Like they couldn't even do the honest work of getting them themselves.
I suppose that's a way to say it.
I guess if you're going to be lazy and force people to work for you, I guess you're going to do it the easiest way possible. But
so in those first like few years of like when slavery really hit its boom at the beginning, I want to say within those first like let's see. But during the 18th century, just that time period, like near the end of the 1700s, they want to say 6 to 7 million people were imported to the New World.
In how many years?
In I want to say probably over 100 years or so, 100, 200 years. Like it would have been the first little bit of it, so it would have been like the first 100 years or so. That's crazy, right?
That's just so, and so many people. It's not even like it's easy to get people from Africa to here, anyways. Like nope. That in and of itself.
How many people died, or how many people chose to die by jumping off the ships because they didn't want to live in bondage?
Yeah, I mean that's just like the numbers of people that made it here to actually start work, not all the people that died because of illness and just terrible conditions on the ship itself.
So the unpaid for labor they were using before were indentured shavers, indentured servants, like people who actually agreed to be into servitude for whatever reason, or other. But mostly they were like Europeans, and they realized how much cheaper it was to just completely subjugate people. And
right, well, because the indentured people, they eventually had to
they were eventually set free. Yeah,
you're free. You did your 5 years or so. Here's your property. Thank you. Have a good day.
So they were looking for cheaper labor. So that's when they started like shipping more and more people over. And because the first big crop that they were using the slaves for was tobacco. So like the land, just they burnt the land just from not rotating crops and things like that. So the tobacco trade started to slow down. So there was this teacher who also named Eli Whitney. A lot of us know who Eli Whitney is. Just even like you've heard the name, so you may not know who he is. But he created something called the cotton gin. So it was as the textile trade boomed over in Europe, they realized the demand for like American cotton had grown. So they started the industry started to shift here in the United States from tobacco to cotton. But picking cotton at the time was very tedious because to get the ideal amount of cotton, you had to peel back the seed from like the actual usable material on the plant. Yeah, apparently like a field trip to plantations is like a big thing in the South. Can you imagine?
Have you ever had to try and pick cotton?
No. Yeah, thankfully.
Right. Well, it'd be kind of awkward for you, but for me, it was like I remember we did it because we went to when we were back east for our DC trip. So we'd go to like the different places where they had plantations and whatnot. And yeah, it's not an easy task to do by hand by any stretch. Which I think is how like the cotton picking minute became a thing.
Oh, I never even thought about that.
Because it takes like it's a long minute.
So this teacher named Eli Whitney, it was partly because he wanted to make a little money and partly because he wanted to see if he could help ease the necessity to use slaves, but he also kind of wanted to make a little quiche in regards to it. So he created the cotton gin. However, it like backfired apparently, so it increased the need for slaves, or I'm sure they found a way to justify it. So that's what happened then. Like in itself, like as thoughts on slavery kind of evolved, like the northern parts of the colonies and the settled United States started to kind of steer away from it. Wasn't necessarily out of the goodness of the heart. It's just they didn't have need for slaves as much. So It's like out of sight, out of mind. So they kind of were easier in regards to that. We'll fast forward to growing tensions and things like that. Abraham Lincoln comes into presidency around 1864, but not to say that that's when the abolitionist movement like really solidified, but like there was a bunch of things that happened in between there. There's like that on both sides, both the eased and race tensions. You had the Underground Railroad, the Missouri Compromise, the Kansas-Nebraska Act, a bunch of rebellions and things like that. The Nat Turner, Denmark Vesey were people who were big in the in regards to the slave rebellions and things like that. So like even when Abraham Lincoln first came in office, like his anti-slavery views were well established, but like even at the beginning, hit the Civil War and whatnot, the goal wasn't to necessarily end slavery, but to preserve the United States as a nation. Because I mean, the reasons behind the Civil War are numerous, but so I won't spend too much time on that. But it's like I lost my train of thought there for a second. Sorry.
That's all right. I'm learning a lot or getting a refresher on a lot of stuff.
I was reading a lot about this morning, and I was like, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Or at least it's like I don't remember that. But it's like, of course I've seen like roots and stuff like that, but that's more of a not necessarily dramatization, but that's more on the story side as opposed to necessarily the not factual, but more less on the story as opposed to the substance kind of thing.
Yeah.
So not necessarily sensationalized, but so so September 22nd, 1862. This was 200 or so odd years after the first slaves first landed. Lincoln issued the preliminary version of his Emancipation Proclamation. So that was September 22nd. January 1st is when it actually got put into effect. So there was that 3 months or so after the preliminary proclamation went into effect. And basically, slaves within any state or designated part of a state in rebellion. That's the important part. In rebellion. So it was only states that were in the South that couldn't keep slaves anymore.
But the North could.
The North could technically, yes. So that was like, I read that and I was like, interesting.
It's all about the wording.
I'm pretty sure he did that just to kind of, because there was still border states in the Union that seceded from the Confederation. That was the name of the states that were fighting in the South to the southern portion of the United States. But there were states in the Union that still wanted to have slaves. So I'm pretty sure he probably did that to appease some of his constituents and whatnot.
His peeps.
So even after the Emancipation Proclamation, like even that didn't, as you saw or heard, it didn't necessarily end slavery.
No.
It wasn't until the 13th Amendment came in, which was adopted in December 18th, 1865. But how Juneteenth came along was even after the Emancipation Proclamation, it was an executive order in 1863. So January 1st, 1863. So do you know when the first Juneteenth was celebrated?
It was like 1860, it was like 66, 67.
That was the first time it was that was the 1 year anniversary, yes, of June 19th, 1966. That'd be crazy. 1866, right? Which is still not that long ago.
So 1866 was the 1 year after.
The 1 year. So
65.
Yeah.
1865.
So this home dude comes strolling into Texas because basically what happened is as the Union troops started to spread into the southern states and bring the good news of the ending of slavery, like people were moving more westward because into Texas, because it was kind of insulated. It was always away from the fighting, at least in regards to the Civil War and whatnot. So home dude, Major General Gordon Granger, him and about Major General, came strolling into Galveston, Texas with about 2,000 Union troops, bluecoats as they were called. He came in on the steps of the headquarter district of Texas in Galveston. He read General Order Number 3, which stated, "The people of Texas are informed that in accordance with the proclamation from the Executive of the United States, all slaves are free. This involves an absolute equality of personal rights and rights of property between former masters and slaves. And the connection heretofore existing between them becomes that between employer and hired labor. The freedmen are advised to remain quietly at their present homes and work for wages." So it's like, you free, stay here though, make some money. They are informed that they will not be allowed to collect at military posts and that they will not be supported in idleness either there or elsewhere. So it's like, yeah, we freed you, but it's on you now what you do.
You're right.
Yeah. So that was June 19th, 1865.
And then a year later, it was the first celebration.
Yeah. So there were stories like people, like soon as they heard this, because as soon as they heard this, people who actually like slaves who actually heard it, like threw down their tools and whatever and just bounced.
Right.
But apparently there was like a lot of repercussions to people who did that. Like there was still deaths, there was hanging, there was killings and whatnot. unfortunately,
there was still a lot of hate. Unfortunately, that
people were losing their labor force, and they were not happy about it because a lot of times people put monetary gain over human life, and that's just what it is.
it's another tragedy.
Yep. So they also left the onus on the owners to spread the news to their slaves. Yeah, so like a lot of people, like some didn't even hear the news till after the harvest time that year.
Yeah, like they hear from like what are you doing walking down the street? Mm-hmm. Oh, dude, I've been free for a while.
Yeah,
your guy didn't tell you. And then you go
yeah,
that's like an awkward situation. Like I was just talking to George, and he said that we were supposed to have been freed. Ooh. Oh, see, I knew there was something I was supposed to tell you guys.
Ooh, that's what that was. That's actually, what that was.
I think I guess I was supposed to pay you. Oh well, next time.
So yeah, so a lot of for a lot of people, like the saying, like I read this that sure, slavery ended January 1st, 1863, but they weren't told, but no one told us for 2 years, you know?
Yeah.
Like they said we were free, but then they actually set us free, you know, kind of thing.
Right.
So the following year, that was the first official celebration. They like gathered around, games, barbecues, because that's what my people do. We queue up some meat.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So the actual, but I mean, it almost didn't make it out of Texas because it wasn't such a wide, like Juneteenth almost didn't make it out of Texas, but it was like a confluence of events that happened, like with the assassination of like Martin Luther King. They had gathered, and then like as they split up after that, like once like they started disbanding and everything, because him dying kind of killed the movement for a lot of people. They took that information they learned from the people that got there and kind of started spreading it around. Like in 1980 is when the first state recognized Juneteenth as a holiday. Do you know what state that was? Take a guess.
My guess would have to be Texas.
It actually was Texas. You know, they were the first ones.
Well, good for them.
Yeah. But now it's a national holiday, which is the tits.
Right? As of, 2 days ago, 3 days ago, something like that? They made it official. So, I know some people some companies were already giving people time off for it, which is pretty legit.
Yeah, like Robert McConnell, the mayor from my city, he allowed everyone to be off today. Like I was reading something though that was interesting. I saw the point, but then it was like, okay, like for a lot of people, like some people probably had court cases today, and with like it becoming a national holiday yesterday, which would have been Friday, because a lot of people, they made yesterday the day of observance.
Right.
So they like a lot of people, probably people of color, probably had. So it was like a slap and a hug at the same time, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, so.
But I saw it like too, because it's not just like, obviously it's a celebration of, this freeing of slavery and all the people getting set free. But also, I think it's over time, from what I've seen, it just kind of, it's more of a celebration of also the African American culture and all the great accomplishments that have come along this treacherous road.
Yep.
So,
like a lot of people consider this like my people. This is like our Independence Day and whatnot. That's why it has a bunch of names. It's called Jubilee Day. That was what it was originally called, Jubilee Day. Then Emancipation Day. Then Freedom Day. So, like, you remember Nicholas Park? Well, Nichols Park technically is what it's called in Richmond on McDonald Avenue.
Yes.
Yeah. Every year they used to throw this Juneteenth celebration.
Really?
And yeah, like my mom used to take us all the time, but I had no concept of the importance of the day. Just, I was a kid. So, but like I'm like, after we finish recording today, I'm probably going to walk down to downtown here in Vallejo and see what they got going on, just to like be with my people. You know?
There you go.
So.
Well, it's That's awesome.
It is awesome. You're awesome.
Thank you.
I'm
I
actually
appreciate
wearing
that.
I'm
The
wearing
history lesson.
my Rosa Parks shirt.
I did notice that. It's a
Yeah.
great shirt.
It is. This is probably my favorite shirt. It
It's
says
just it's so simple and
it's
just
simple, but it's powerful. I
it
posted
is.
on our Instagram um, when we're done with this.
I like it.
I like you.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it. Oh.
So
this has been history class with Chris.
Yay!
You taking us through so many classes today. We got history lesson was your best one though. I got to
thank you. I appreciate.
You had a lot more information on that. Your math class was kind of.
I mean, math has never been. The only math class I've ever gotten anything higher than a C in is statistics, and I got an A in that. So I was like,
really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess statistics are just.
I think because it's more logical than anything.
Yeah, you're not just trying to figure out letters and numbers.
Yeah, like, and I sucked at algebra, and like I remember back in the day, one of my teachers said, if you're good at algebra, you probably won't be good at statistics, but if you're good at and vice versa.
Yeah, I can get that. I was pretty good at
because it all depends on how your brain works.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
But something else I wanted to talk about Juneteenth was like some of the things that like they use to celebrate. Like I said, they do the barbecues and everything like that. But they also try and eat things that are like red and things like that to signify the blood that our ancestors shed over their time to get us to where we are right now. So the like red velvet cake and stuff like that, watermelon, things like that. But I don't eat watermelon.
I say you're not gonna have your watermelon. I've been eating watermelon for the last like 2 weeks, and it is amazing.
Do you just eat it by itself? Do you sprinkle a little salt on it? Do you put some tahini?
Eat it by itself.
Have you ever had tahini?
Yeah, but I've never had it on fruit.
No, do it. Like try it on pineapple. It is amazing.
Is it? I love pineapple too.
Dude,
I think I'd say like probably like strawberries, pineapple, and watermelon are like my favorite, especially like when it's hot out. They're just the best.
Like my favorite probably is pineapple of like all the fruits. But I've become partial to bananas. But like this is a weird time of year to get bananas because like especially because I get them from Costco too, so they're like super green. So I need to get one of those little things that ripens your bananas. Yeah, otherwise they're just not good.
Yeah, Danielle eats bananas every day right now.
For that potassium.
But I have to be like, there's times where I'll be like, yeah, definitely we'll buy some bananas this week and I'll eat them. But like if I'm not craving them when we go to the store, like I just won't eat bananas and they also have to be like, she likes them before they start getting brown, and like I need them brown. So like when they're bad for her, they're good for me. So it works out like if it's too far gone for her and I'm actually in the mood for a banana, like it's perfect. But yeah, bananas are kind of, I'm very hit and miss with them. Unfortunately.
Wow. It's crazy. Next time we record, you could have your baby by then.
Well, yeah. So next time we're scheduled for July 3rd.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got a lot going on. We got some medication for Pancake. So
her anxiety medicines.
Yeah.
I was speaking of like anxiety, and it's like I know it didn't really affect you guys. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Finish your story.
No. We got medication for her, so we're gonna give her some tonight or late this evening and see how she kind of reacts to it.
What was what's the medicine?
I meant to write it down. I forget.
Yeah, but I was like reading other places, like I was scrolling through memes, of course, and I was in different like channels I'm on the internet. And it's like apparently separation anxiety is huge for pets, especially ones that people got during the pandemic. Because like now people are transitioning back into work, being away from home a whole lot more, and like apparently like their pets are like freaking the fuck out.
Wow, that makes so much sense, especially if like you get them and they're just used to you being
around there
all the time. Yeah. Man, I wonder if that has something to do with like people bringing more pets back to the shelter because they don't know what to do. Oh, that's brutal.
It's crazy. But yeah, it's like, but I mean, it wouldn't be the case for Pancake because you got her pre-pandemic for one.
Well, we got her right when it started school. We got her in March, but right away neither one of us worked from home, so.
Yeah, you were. I mean, it wasn't the case for you guys where you guys like were home all the time because
Yeah, that's the only thing that's going to be, I think, the transitioning period when we go back to work for her, especially after Danielle's going to be here for 12 weeks.
How long? How many do you get?
I'm probably just going to take 2 weeks off.
Okay, so you're not going to do the full paternal leave?
No, because I can use FLA, but it's unpaid because we just have the federal minimum. So like they'll give me the 12 weeks, but I have to use my vacation time and then just not get paid, and bills don't get paid that way.
That's an Arizona thing, right?
Yeah, so that's the federal minimum, and then
it's 2 weeks. I didn't know that was the federal minimum.
No, the federal was 12. So I get 12, but if
paid is 2 weeks.
No, paid is what pay. I'll only get paid whatever I choose to get paid for. So if I wanted to go the 12-week route, I can do it. I have enough for like 3 or 4 weeks off, but I'm going to save some for later on in the year.
Oh, baby bonding later.
Yeah. So, but we're actually, hopefully, we're going to start working 10-hour shifts soon. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you'll be okay.
They started realizing that I think they did some like survey after the whole pandemic and kind of, because a lot of departments were teleworking for a while and people really enjoyed it. So they're trying to figure out ways to kind of bring that back in. So, department to department, they kind of got to figure out how to keep things, running, but still try and give people better schedules. So, it'll be good to only work 4 days a week. And
I miss that. Well, I mean, I only work 6 days in 2 weeks, so technically I only work 3 days a week. So I'll just end that right there, and I'll stop bitching about it. I was like,
well, that's what some people are like. Why do you want to work 10-hour days? It's like, how much it sucks working 5 days in a row. For the longest time, I never had to do that.
That sucks. Because I worked the most I ever worked on the ambulance was 4 days in a row.
Yeah, when once you start working 12s, that was just that fourth day of 12s was kind of a long day, but aside from that,
and you had to work that Wednesday.
Yeah, and it's like, well, I still have 3 more. I have 3 days off after this, but so yeah, that'll be good. So I think Danielle and I both will have the same day off at the beginning, and then my schedule is pretty flexible. So once it's just
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, America. I'm sorry.
Again, this has been Health Science with Chris Brooks. No, we, I figure because for childcare, you can only up to a certain point. Like right now, you have to pay full time, regardless of whether or not he's going to be there full time.
That sucks.
Yeah,
that is absolute horse shit.
I think it's up until they're a year old, because then they get their own crib, they get their own everything. So it's kind of like they kind of got to reserve everything.
I mean, but then I get it, but it sucks. Yeah.
Right. So then after that, you pay for the days, not just. So then I'll switch my day off. So then we won't have the day off during the week together, but we'll each have 1 day with him, and then he'll only have to go 3 days a week. So
Gianluca.
Yep, he's coming. He's coming.
He's coming.
The doctor says probably 40, 41 weeks is what.
Okay. Just based on the growth of.
Yeah, and she did her first. He's head down when she's fully closed still, so that's good. She has not started opening up for arrival.
The hand gesture alone is what made that. I'm sorry you guys missed that, but it was hilarious.
Yes.
But yeah, I think we did it.
We did.
I think we did it. I want you to go take a nap.
I'm planning on it.
Drink some water.
Definitely gonna do that.
Move your arm around.
I've been trying. It's gotten better, but yeah, it's.
You look so defeated when you said that. I've been trying. Oh shit! I wanted to say something before we go. I meant to say this last week on our last episode, but I had really gotten into women's softball.
I it was
super entertaining to me for some reason.
It is. It's great. I haven't watched that much this year, but it's definitely one of those things where, I mean, I've tried watching College World Series baseball, and but yeah, the female dude, it's so much
the
better.
passion they have
Exactly.
when they play. They're like chanting the whole time. There's like 17 million people in the dugout.
Yeah, and they're always going crazy. It's highly entertaining. So yeah, no, that's good. And it's fun.
It's fun. It's really entertaining. They should it's like it probably wouldn't make a lot of money, so it probably would never work. But a professional softball league would be kind of amazing, you know?
Because they don't have that, right?
They do nothing after they get out of college, really.
They play for like the U.S. national team and they go to like the Olympics and stuff. But yeah, aside from that, yeah, I think that would be. Cool. I think of all. I mean, I get people like there's professional women's soccer and professional women's basketball. I don't find soccer entertaining regardless of male or female. Soccer. And basketball, it's hit and miss. I mean, everyone's super hyped up right now because the Suns are, doing their thing. But
yeah, they're in the Western Conference Finals now.
Yeah, everyone's like, "You going for the Suns?" Like, sure. Go Suns. I'm rooting for the Canadians too.
Go sports ball.
Yeah, dude. Do a thing. Make a shot. So.
But yeah, sports are always fun. Anywho, everybody, we always appreciate you listening to us.
Most definitely.
Hopefully you got some information out of Juneteenth and something you didn't know. I also wanted to say this. Just because something's not important to you doesn't mean it's not important. So when someone has a intrinsically different ideology on something to you, then and that's for everything. Try and understand it from a point like, hey, this may not be important to me. This may not be something that matters to me, but this matters to the other person. So let me give it the utmost respect possible to understand where they're coming from. And that's for a lot of things in life. So don't forget to be kind to one another. Don't forget to care about one another. I wouldn't say be nice, because sometimes being nice isn't the best way, but always be kind. So anywho, thank you for listening. I say good day.
Good day, y'all.